Welcome to Enchanted Tarot. This is for the sign of Sagittarius for the month of February or from the time that you view this video. Now, it is a general reading, so that being said, that means it may or may not resonate with you. If this is not your situation, if it's not your story, check your other placements. Your messages could be there. Now let's just get right to the reading. And you have the card of perception. Okay, so what this means, this card as a blockage, okay, asks that you check to make sure that your perception of a situation is not false. Have you ever had a moment when you believed you smelled onions cooking only to discover that there was no source for the aroma? That is a false perception. The same thing can occur when your mind is full of chatter that has you believing that another person doesn't like you or is harboring a particular opinion of you. Be careful that you're not imposing a false perception that others think or feel a particular way about you when, in fact, the perception that you have is a self-perception. Do your best not to allow assumption to be the foundation of your perception when it comes to your interaction with others. If you have doubts or concerns about the nature of your relationships with the people around you, the best course of action is to ask. That way, there's no need to feed the stress and worry about what ifs and maybes. The saying, never judge a book by its cover, holds real wisdom, and yet we so often do judge and define things by what we see or read or experience, even when the knowledge offered is in reality only the cover. All too often, we never actually open the book. In fact, we may be unable to open the book because our minds are incapable of conceiving, let alone understanding, what lies within. We look at the cover, read the blurb on the back, and may believe we have all the answers when we actually don't. But we are the book. The person we present to the world is the cover, and sometimes the blurb. Friends and family will be offered the contents and a synopsis, but only you know the full story. If you want people to have a more accurate perception of who you are, then make it a point to share the story of you honestly, without embellishment. Then the cover and blurb will actually represent who you are and make it clear that there is far more for those who are willing to take the time to read the book. So, in turn, understand that you cannot know the full stories of those around you. And sometimes the cover and the blurb are very different to the contents within, because the author of the story has fears, doubts, and troubles that they're afraid to reveal. Do what you can to open your mind and open that book, even if you only make it to the contents page or the index, and see that there is so much more within than you can imagine. Release your belief that you know everything about a particular situation or circumstance, or what motivates another's actions. Even let go of the belief that just because something is deemed to be fact makes it an absolute. Why? Because all you have to do is look back at history to see the number of facts that have changed over the centuries as new knowledge came to light. Consider the idea that when we believe that we know something completely and that what we believe is an absolute certainty, we may in fact know very little. Finally, remember that you are more than what others perceive you to be, and in turn, those around you are more than what you perceive them to be. The perception card asks that you do not base your reality on false perceptions born of limited knowledge and understanding. The next message is the Ace of Fire. Just set that there. So, see, the Ace of Fire represents the promise of new beginnings and opportunities, but unlike other aces, this ace requires you take action. But because of a perception that you have, or they have, right? No action's being taken. And that is the block. There's uncertainty with regards to a new start, a new beginning. And this uncertainty, because of a perception, inspires procrastination. It represents, in this case, because we're talking about blockages, it represents and is speaking to no action being taken because of uncertainty. So maybe you do everything but what you know you should be doing. Yeah. It's perhaps time to decide what it is that you truly want and then act upon it. Let's see what this message is. Yeah. Communication is going to be the key here. Okay. Because if you communicate, maybe there was a lack of communication here, and this is what caused somebody to assume. So their perception is based upon an assumption because there was a lack of communication. And because of the perception now, because of the lack of communication, there's no action being taken. And all of this could have been avoided if somebody would have just asked or spoke up. A successful relationship usually comes down to one thing, and that is communication. So, this is the New Moon in Gemini card and is all about the start of a new cycle for communicating with the person who's at the center of your question. Talking things through is the answer to whatever it is you are here for. Emails, text messages, and all other forms of communication will also help you now. If for some of you, you're asking about a sibling or a neighbor, there is a new start coming with that, okay? It is time to wipe that slate clean and start over again. The most important message on this card is the need to communicate. It is the need to take that first step. It is time to speak up. It is time to speak your truth. It is time to tell someone how you feel. And maybe it is time to ask questions that you never asked in the past. Time has been lost here, and pain perhaps has ensued because of a lack of communication. This now can be corrected. The time to do this is now. I thank you for watching, for liking, and for sharing my videos, and for subscribing. Also, thank you to everyone who has sent in a donation. It is greatly appreciated. Many blessings to all of you.